You're tuned in to Just One Hot Mom with host Nanika Ansari. Get ready. She's about to bring you that fire, that flavor, that heat, all that passion, and more from around the world and in your neighborhood. Stay tuned.
Hey, hotties, you are tuned in to Just One Hot Mom. I am your host, Nanika Ansari, and it is rough for a mama out here in the neighborhood today. Let me tell you. So, I decided to do my live. So, if you're listening to this later on, when I did the live, I didn't do no makeup. I ain't got no lip gloss. I got my natural hair out, and I got some toilet paper wrapped around my pinky because I injured myself and I couldn't find a band-aid. But I wanted to come in here like this today because I'm talking to my age, 39. If you don't know, I will be 40 on December 23rd. And I've always told people, like, I'm not embarrassed about turning 40. Like, I don't think I'm old or anything like that. I still think that I can achieve everything I want to achieve no matter how old I am. But at the beginning, like when I turned 39 last year, I'm like, oh, it's 39. Whenever somebody would ask me, like, like, how old are you? I'm like, oh, I'm going to be 40. I'm going to be 40. I wasn't giving 39 the proper respect that it deserves. So I was having a conversation the other day, and I was like, you know what? 39 at some point at the beginning of the year snatched my whole entire soul and was like, you're going to give me the respect that I deserve because I am the year that prepares you for 40. And so I was like, yeah, I never really said, people ask me, I never really be like, oh, I'm 39. I'm like, oh, I'm about to be 40. And let me tell y'all, 39 came in this year, got its belt out, and whooped my behind. It did everything it needed to shape me to be, I'm sure, whatever 40 is going to bring. 39, then a gut punch the sister to a point where it's like, ooh, okay, I could take that because in my year 39, I learned how to deal with that. But I was thinking, like, do other people go through that? Like, in the year before you make your milestone years, do you just not give respect to the age that you are? And I'm sure we're thankful for turning, for having another year to turn older. But do we really give that year the proper respect that it deserves? So in my year 39, I learned some of the most valuable lessons in my life. And I'm sure this is going to alter how I continue. Like, this is going to alter my next decade. My year 39 changed the game. It got your girl all the way together. And so I just want to give, like, I'm excited to turn 40, but 39, I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss you because you really just gut punch, jab, slapped. You got a girl all the way together. And so I have to show you your appreciation, 39, that you deserve. So let me tell y'all. Y'all know I take my notes. I'm keeping my notes right by me so I can remember what I want to say. Okay, so in the year 39, I had to change my mentality. Like, before, my mentality was like, oh, I care about what so-and-so say. I want to make sure that so-and-so is okay. I won't do or say certain things because it's going to hurt so-and-so's feelings. Let me tell you, year 39 wrapped itself around my throat and was like, you care now? You care? You care? You still caring about what other people think about you? And then I adapted the give zero mentality. I had to fall in love with me again. It became a magical practice of just loving Nikki each and every day and making sure that she was okay. You go through life and you check on people all the time. But do you really check in on yourself? Like, year 39 made me check in on myself, like, every single day. Like, are you okay? And if you're not okay, like, it's okay to not be okay and to say that you're not okay. So when people ask me how I'm doing and I say peachy, I always choose peachy because a peach can be sweet or it can be sour. So I'm not, I'm not transferring my negative energy onto you. I'm just telling you I'm peachy. Take it how you want to take it. But I adapted the zero mentality because it was like, I'm not trying to please everybody. Like, at the end of the day, I have to go home and look myself in the mirror and be pleased with that person. Like, I don't go home to none of the people that I was trying to please. And even the people that I do come home to that I'm trying to please, at the end of the day, when I fall asleep, I have to be happy with me. And if I'm not happy with me, I can't be anything else to the other people around me. So I had to give the zero mentality in year 39. Like, do I care? No. Do people want me to care? Yes. But will I be giving that energy? No. Why? Why am I giving everything to you? I learned that in year 39. Like, you will pour all that you have into somebody else, and they will zap that. They will zap that. And they people sometimes don't feel like they should reciprocate that. So you will pour everything you have into somebody else, and then you will come home to yourself and have nothing left to give. And is that fair to you? No. So year 39 was like, you're going to put some respect on this age, and you're going to start to care about yourself and not what other people think. You're going to be able to look yourself in the mirror and give yourself your well done. Until I make it home to our Heavenly Father, I need to be able to say, Nick, well done. I need to be able to be comfortable with what Nick has going on. And so I was like, yes, you're 39, give zero, don't worry about what nobody else has to say. But then that came around, and it was like, okay, while you out here giving zero, let me teach you another lesson. Okay, so 3 lessons I learned in age 39. I'm about to get real personal, so if you're tuned in later on, it is what it is. In year 39, I had some major relationships in my life change. And I'm talking about from friendships to dating relationships to the relationships with my kids and family. And those are like the 3 most important relationships for me right now. They just are how it just guides the rest of the way that I'm going to be. So with my kids and my family, if you don't know me, you don't know my parenting style, you know that I'm real down to earth with my kids. I don't hold no punches with them, and they don't hold no punches with me. We have to be real with each other. We have to be open with each other, because often too many times families are not honest with each other, and you don't know what's really going on with the person, and you're not honest with them so that they can be honest with themselves. So I'm sure Simone will tell anybody listens. Like, I was over her house last week. Like, let me tell you something. Your behavior is getting on my nerves to a point where I feel like I'm gonna have to ground you. And you're 21, you ain't even live in my house, but I feel like I'm gonna have to do something. Like, I'm never afraid to tell my kids how I feel about them, but doing it in love. And even with my family, y'all think like everybody like, oh, you and Isha, y'all love each other so much. But girl, my father will tell you it is like hell on earth if we get into an argument. It's like, ah! And so, but in year 39, I learned to do that in a loving way with my family, because I never want them to feel like I don't love them. But I also know that it's a reason why you call people into correction. And sometimes you have to call your family into correction, just like your friends or your significant other, with love. And sometimes people will be like, oh, you mean, you don't like me and all this stuff. You may not like what I'm saying. You understand? You may not like what I'm saying, but I may be right in what I'm saying, and you have to determine how you're going to receive it. And then when I'm saying it, I have to determine how it's going to come across to you. So it's nothing wrong with calling somebody into correction, doing it in a loving way. They may not agree with what you're saying, and that's fine. But if you feel like you've done your just do when calling them into correction, then that's all that you can do. So with my kids and my family in year 39, I really just learn to lovingly say things to them that maybe they didn't want to hear but needed to hear. And then I had to be receptive on the other end. So when they would say things to me, especially Isha, y'all know my sister, she always thinks she right. But when she would say stuff to me that would call me into correction, I had to be receptive, and I had to take it in love, because I know my sister's not telling me, or any of my other family members aren't telling me anything out of spite or out of hate, but out of loving correction. And I have to appreciate that. And so in year 39, I learned that lesson when it comes to relationships. Now, in year 39, this is probably one of the years, like this year 39, I never expected what happened to happen. But I had some major friendships take a L in year 39. If you don't know what take a L means, it means take a loss in year 39. Some friendships transformed into like, these my A1 since day one. We like a Cadillac 4 flats. We is all that together. And then as I transitioned and as they transitioned into elevating to things that were supposed to happen in our lives, our friendship changed. We began to not hang out as much as we used to. We didn't talk like we used to. And so that played a major role on how we began to treat each other, our respect and our love for one another. And I can tell y'all this, I'm sure we love each other. I'm sure like we've done too much in life not to love each other. We taking each other's secrets to the grave. That ain't gonna never end. But when they really say a season and a reason and a time and a place for things, it really is like that became really real for me this year. And it was like, dang, like, and then what I tried to do, I tried to reject Year 39. I tried to reject reasons and seasons and to keep stuff going. But God was like, Nick, there is a bigger purpose for you, and in order for you to obtain this purpose, you know how people say no new friends? I had to accept some new friends. And I'll be the first to say, like, I could kick myself because I said that all the time. No new friends. Like, dude, I don't got no new friends. But in order for me to fulfill my purpose here, I had to be willing to accept some new friends. And I had to be willing to let go of some of my old friends. And let me tell y'all, that was one of the hardest things about Year 39 is coming to the conclusion that I had to let go of some relationships in order to nurture new relationships in my life. And so that's the lesson I learned. But what I did learn that went along with that lesson is that it's going to be okay. Like, there's a reason you have to make space for those people that are going to take you to another level. Like, I was listening to someone talk to me, and they were like, you are hanging with friends or people or associates that are at about a 4, and you're ready to go to 7th level. So you're on level 4 right now, and you're uncomfortable there, and you can't figure out how to get out of this space because you don't want other people to feel uncomfortable. Let me tell you, if you are elevating around your friends, you are not responsible for their comfort. What is that? Sorry, y'all. You are not responsible for their comfort. The only person responsible for their comfort and your comfort is you. You can only be responsible for yours, and they can only be responsible for theirs. You can't take on somebody else's emotions. They are responsible for this. So if you're uncomfortable, they're uncomfortable with you have going on, it's up to them to figure that out. It's up for them to work that out. You can't do anything about that unless you're being vicious or malicious. There's nothing that you can do that's going to work out the issues that they have with you elevating to another level. And then here's the other thing. Don't stop your elevation just because somebody feels uncomfortable with you. God calls us all to do something greater than we could ever imagine. So you won't stop his calling on your life because people feel uncomfortable? Mm-mm. So in Year 39, my friendships changed. And as painful, I ain't gonna lie, as painful as it was to see them change, I knew that at the end of the day, like, God wouldn't bring me through the storm, unless there was going to be a victory on the end of it. And so I have met so many amazing people in this victory. And so I'm excited. I'm excited about the new friendships. Now let's get into the relationship part of this because I'm sure somebody knows in there. In my relationship, here you go. This is what I learned in Year 39. You take advice from everybody. From friends, from family, from talk shows or social media, all this other stuff. And you take all that advice in and then you apply it to your relationship. But what you don't think about is your relationship isn't like everybody else's relationship. You two people aren't like everybody else. So what I was doing, I was gathering all the information. I was, relationship goals, black love. This is how you're supposed to love me. If you don't do this, then you don't care about me. And it really, I remember I was reading The Love Dare. I was reading Love Dare and just reading it just to see like, oh my God. And it was talking about love. And you think that it's your charge to change that person. But honestly, it's your charge to change your own heart. So if you love a person, you have to respect that they're in a space of growth too. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it was hard to respect that space. Like, why don't you just do what I'm telling you to do and then love me like this? But you have to remember that each person has a love language, and as much as it is their responsibility to love you a specific way, it's your responsibility to love them a specific way. And when I stopped trying to fit in the form of what people told me my relationship should look like, when I stopped trying to make him be what I thought he should be and let him be himself in this relationship, and I got to be myself in this relationship, and I got to express the way that when I watched him and how what he would say. I watched and I listened to how he needed to be loved. And so when I started to love him that way, then I noticed he started to love me the way that I needed to be loved. Okay, 39, you got a girl together in all areas of a relationship. And even if, like I tell people, even if, like, there's no marriage at the end of the relationship or any of that, I will still know that we loved each other on the level of I loved him for who he is and he loved me for who he is. And I'm telling you, once that magical thing happens, once you discover that you can love a person where they are at in life, and when you start to activate that love, you will receive the love in return. But you gotta, like, that part right there, you gotta take that selfishness out of the way and stop watching, your friends, your family, social media. You really just have to determine what you two are gonna do in that relationship. The relationship is just the two of you. It's not everybody else. You should be your own goals. And so in year 39, I would have to say, I ain't discovered that to the end of the year, though. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, I have a lot of frustration and probably like bumping our heads with each other when I finally was like, let me love him the way he's telling me he needs to be loved, and to not let the chips fall where they may. And once I started to do that, I started to see that he was listening to me and began to love me the way that I needed to be loved. Now, will we always be this way? No, we won't. One, we both are alphas, and we both gangsters. But in the meantime and in between time, I'm gonna enjoy this love, and I'm gonna enjoy giving that love. So in year 39, that's what I love. But speaking of that, the second thing I learned was to be selfish. I needed to make sure I got my me time in by any means necessary. That means if we had to get into an argument, if the kids had to cry, if I had to miss out on time with friends, I needed time to myself. As much as I am an extrovert, when I need my introvert moments, move out my way. I need to be alone. I need to be alone to write. I need to be alone to think, just to soak in the bathtub. I need to just visit with Nikki and look in the mirror and talk to her sometimes. She's such a great person. And so I needed those moments. And so even if it was like people were taking it as I'm being hurtful, I was like, okay, well, and I didn't apologize for it. Like, oh, sorry you feel that way. Like, okay, well, you feel that way, but I still got to have my me time. And so I had to take those moments. And I think I learned it the best. Like, I'll be on the phone with my sister and she'll be complaining about something. I'm like, ooh, girl, my alarm just went off. It's time. I got to call you back. I got to read this book for 30 minutes. It's just about, it's selfish, but you need those moments to yourself to be human, for you to revisit who you are and to stay in love with who you are, because it's easy to fall out of love with you. It's easy to forget who you are because you're doing everything for everybody else. But remember to do what you need to do for you. Okay, and the other thing I learned in 39, this is the third thing, is to embrace the space that you're in. As much as you want to elevate to the next level and you want to keep growing and stuff like that, appreciate the time you have with certain things. Appreciate the moments of learning and growing in the space that you are currently in. We are so quick to be on a rush to get to the next thing that we're supposed to do that we don't take the time to smell the roses and to really embrace each moment that we go through. And so I'm telling you that I learned to appreciate my space and and to just be happy in the space that I was in, and to respect that space. When you respect your space and when you are selfish sometimes, you're actually respecting yourself. And we should all want that self-respect. Self-respect starts with you. And so in year 39, that was the 3 biggest lessons I learned. And so as we are closing out year 39, and I'm like, yeah, you came here and you ain't come to play. Like 39 was like, I'm about to teach you something. I'm about to be so strong in what I have to reveal to you that you're going to know I was here. I'm going to remember this year. I remember past years, I remember stuff and people will remind me and I'm like, oh, that did happen. But this year, I think this is going to be the year that I really remember almost everything that I went through, because it was an extremely uncomfortable at times unkind, but so it hurts so good that I don't know any other way to describe it. And I have to be like, "Ooh, girl, year 39 was a monster." But it was a beautiful monster filled with beautiful experiences. And so, what did I think 39 is preparing me for? It's preparing me for 40. Because let me tell you, my mama said that 40 is about to blow my mind. And I'm coming at 40 real gangster. Let me tell you something, 40. We ain't gonna have them same type of problems. We went through some growth in year 39 that prepared us for whatever it is you got going on. So we're going to use the tools from year 39, take them in year 40, and we are going to party it up. We are going to enjoy ourselves, love ourselves. We're going to love the people around us. We're going to make new relationships with people. And when those relationships are up, we ain't going to be sad that they gone. We're going to high five them, send them on their way. And if they come back around, we'll be happy about it. But if not, it was fun while it lasted. And I'm just excited to take the tools that I learned in year 39. Let me tell you something, 39, you ain't got to do no more damage for the rest. We got how many more days together? 7. We're 7 days away. If you want to just chill and relax right now because you've taught some very good lessons and your girl is going to like ease, like I'm trying to ease into 40 and I have my sanity still intact. I ain't mad at you, but I'm so happy that you came in to teach me these lessons so that I can go into 40 and I could be like, oh, I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever you bringing. I'm ready for whatever it is you got going on. And even if something comes up that I'm not ready for, I know that I can get ready for it. So year 39, I take my hat off to you. I salute you. I'm thankful for you because you were a beast. You came in, you handed me my behind, but you also handed me multitudes of blessings, of opportunities to be grateful, of opportunities of growth. And so I am forever indebted to my 39th year for just being magically, undeniably uncomfortable and yet spectacular. It was supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. And I'm so good. I'm so glad that I was able to experience it with the people that I did, with the opportunities that I did, and for each and every moment, no matter if it was painful, if it was joyous, if it was uncontrollably laughable. I am so happy that I got to experience this 39 the way that I did. So, to all of you that are coming up on milestone birthdays or whatever birthday you're coming up on, appreciate the age that you are now and give it its props because I guarantee it's preparing you for the greater good that you're going to experience later on in life. Hotties, you guys have been amazing all year long. I am so happy and I am so grateful that I get to do this life alongside you. You can check me and the hottest kids on all my social media at Just One Hot Mom or go on over to the blog where we will be getting fresh, fly, and multiple other words that are going to describe us being incredible all year long at justoneHotMom.com or going over to Elevations Radio where your girl is currently on the air, or go ahead on over to iTunes and hit that subscribe button so that you can hear all this raspiness when I come across. Guess what, hotties? You have been tuned in and you've been elevated. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Talk to you soon.